host. And with me, we have the president of the PSA, Ms. Shara and Chisholm, among other members of the executive, the treasurer, the PRO, the assistant secretary, among other distinguished members. We also should have on this platform the principal of the school, Mr. Kevin Fiss, lateness form now. We should have Miss Shelley-Ann Ebanks, who is a teacher at the school, who will be representing the administration when the time comes. Let me apologize for starting at 6 instead of 3, as was originally indicated on the first set of flyers that went out. What happened is that because today is holiday, we decided to start at 3, not remembering that not everybody has holiday today. So while Canada is having their holidays and we're having holidays, the USA isn't. And so that's the reason for the change of time. And so we apologize for that. Now, before we get into the meat of the matter, I'm going to ask our Assistant Secretary, Ms. Althea Moore, to start us off with prayer.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you, Lord God, for your goodness and your grace and your mercy. Lord, we thank you, Lord God, for the opportunity to be able to meet, to see each other virtually, Lord God. Father, we pray that as we discuss things regarding Meadowbrook, help us, Lord God, to be open and constructive, Lord Jesus. Father, we pray, Lord, that as we as past students play our part in helping to carry out the vision that you gave to our founders, that, Lord, it will be to your honor and to your glory. Continue to guide those who are parents, those who are teachers, the principal, the leaders of the board. Lord God, we ask that you just bless them and help them, Lord God, to continue to make decisions in the best interest of the students. Father, we thank you, Lord God, for the opportunity that we had to attend Meadowbrook High and to be able to form lasting relationships, and for the impact that it had on our lives to be carried out to this day. We just give you the program and ask God that it will go according to plan. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Althea. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, I just want to ask that we keep our mics muted, just so that things will be able to flow easily without much hindrance. And also that we're asking you to put in the chat your name, full name, the year you left the school, and the profession you are in now, because we're trying to build a database with our past students where we can all know we can connect with each other and reach out to each other when we need assistance. So I'll encourage you to just put in the chat when you left and what's your profession now. So we're going to start off this evening's proceedings with hearing from the school representative in the person of Mrs. Shelley-Ann Gray Ebanks. Miss Ebanks, over to you. And after that, we will have Professor Minerva Them, who will speak with us for a few minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I am happy to be here. Thank you so much for extending an invitation to me. I will be brief, as I will be sharing some time with the principal. And so I do not intend to cut across. Okay, so we are, as members of staff and parents of this school, we are operating in unprecedented times. And we are trying as best as possible to not only survive, but thrive during this pandemic. What I can say is the staff, as always, has been committed throughout this trying season in upgrading our skills, upskilling, and extending ourselves in ways that we would not normally have. And we give credit to all the partners in our institution, including the PSA, in assisting us to reach more students and to help us to bring across what we need to on a daily basis. Personally, I can attest to the great help, the great assistance, the driving force that we got, especially at grade 9, from the mentoring committee. I can say that this year's Career Expo was one of the best, bar none, that I have seen, been a part of since I've been at Meadowbrook for 17 years. With assistance from Philip Clark, we were able to have past students present and interact with the students from many, 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 many fields of study. And it was such a joy because apart from maybe a representative from UWU Tech Michael or CGST, we really had all past students, and it felt good. I'm not a past student of Meadowbrook, and it felt good. A few parents who were in on the chat said they did not know that all of these accomplished persons were past Meadowbrook students. And I am very grateful that even on the career day end, we had the input of the past student. And this year, for the first time, we set about to publish a magazine based on career and our school. And I wanted to personally thank Kimberly Hibbert for her contribution to that book. Also, again, Philip Clark and all the other past students who came on the day. So we had 3 sessions with the students. And I must say they were well received. I was astounded as to the depth of expertise that the past students brought to the current students. And I think that this will go a far way in them having some pride in their school and to encourage them to work hard in life. I don't want to name everybody, and I don't want to leave out anybody, but Professor Thame, she was there, well received, very great presentation. Christopher Townsend, Brigadier Raj Mason, Sharanda Ferrell, she had them eating out of her hands. We had Nicole Reed, Samantha Wilmot. I would like to just thank every single person from every walk of life and every career that presented. All right, so let me talk about some of the things that we have been doing. So we have beefed up. The school has invested a lot of time in an investment in professional development of our entire staff. We, the principal, put this in motion so that we can better serve the constituents, which are the parents, students, and even the past students. So we have invested a lot of time and planning, and hopefully in the future, financial to professional development. We note that there has been a lot of assistance to our students from PSA and others regarding accessing online classes. And for that, I know that the parents and we, the teachers, are very grateful. I can say, going forward, we just want to give you a heads up that we are of the opinion that students leaving Meadowbrook High School should leave with not only their academic grounding, but some other skill in life. So we will shortly, and we will give you some more information, be embarking on a pilot project at grade 9 in partnership with HEART and other agencies to equip the students with a skill, hopefully of their choice in the future, that they may use to supplement whatever they want to do, or to use the skill as their main income earner in life. Madam President, Mr. Clark shared his report with you.
He did.
Okay, all right. I'll just he shared with me also. So the mentoring committee, as I said before, they assisted greatly at grade 9, and also they had done some work with the head prefects. And in the future now, he says that there are several upcoming activities that he would love the support from the wider cross section of past students. On the books, there's a tree planting initiative, leadership seminars, form time talks again when we resume face-to-face, one-on-one mentorship with students, more distribution of tablets, ongoing donation to the school's welfare fund, college fair, and an internship summer work program. I am sharing time with Mr. Faces, so I will now cede to him. Thank you so much for your attention and your invitation.
Wow, thank you very much, Mrs. Ebanks. Let's give the school a clap to everyone on this platform, because even though we may be young in comparison to some other school, our school is making strides. So thank you, Mrs. Ebanks, for representing so well on behalf of the administration and the teachers. And so Mr. Facey is on. So Mr. Facey, are you ready, or should I move over into Professor Them?
No, I'm fine. Good evening, all. I'm hoping that you can hear me.
Yes, we are hearing you.
My name is Kevin Face, and I am very happy to be a part of this very esteemed community and family that is Meadowbrook High School. I had the privilege of joining this family October 1st, 2019, and it has been, to say the very least, an eventful time. But I'm very happy to be a part of it. And I've been very thankful for the caliber of staff, many of whom have worked above and beyond, as Mrs. Ebanks has said, some of whom are actually graduates of this institution as well, who have come back to serve. I've had the privilege of meeting members of your past student association, both in person and some virtually, and to meet with our parents. And it is from that point of view I come to you today just to say, well, my view of Meadowbrook is that we have done a lot in the very short time that we've been around compared to a Mannings or Woolmer's or some of the other institutions. Well, what I've always noted and been very impressed by was that the typical Meadowbrook past student that I met, and I have a couple of them as my good friends, had a quiet confidence about them because they understood that they had expertise within them. And I guess, to quote Dr. Maurice, they were as good as any and better than some. So as I started in the school, there are a couple of things that I saw very quickly, and I want to just mention to you as a group, and then I will listen attentively to the other presentations because I'm very interested to hear what are your thoughts on the matters that I've seen on the agenda. I have been very impressed by the fact that we have a varied syllabus and a varied curriculum, and arts is a big thing at Meadowbrook, arts, sports, and academic, and I think that must continue. I have not had the privilege of seeing a Hyde Stedford yet, but I look forward to that. But our dancers, the students who do drama or singers are excellent, our drummers, those in the steel plant. So I think arts, performing arts and visual arts has been a shining light and must continue. I remember fondly the days before I joined Meadowbrook when I would hear of our exploits in softball and volleyball. And I look forward to those days where we have a varied sports program, and it is my desire and part of my focus to try to facilitate that. I also noted that we have amongst us persons who have earned Rhodes scholarships and gone on to distinguish themselves both nationally and internationally and regionally as well, and that must continue. I think that there is room and need for all of the past students to come in and find their space and contribute. Meadowbrook is your school. It is where you learned lessons about life, you made friendships that have lasted till now, and there is room for you to come and serve and make it easier for the next generation to find their place in the world. I want to thank those members of the PSA who have been doing that over the years, long before I got here, those who've been doing it since I've been here, and those who will be doing it. So I want to let you know that it is our hope that we will continue to push and to shine our lights brightly, but we need your help to come alongside and give us your time, your energy, and your expertise so that we can help this next generation of Meadowbrook graduates to do well. So thank you for the time. I will not take up any more because there are far more important persons than I who are going to share. So over to you, our charming and very skillful moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Facey. And we continue to look forward to your leadership as we continue to take Meadowbrook higher and higher. Ladies and gentlemen, after Professor Them speaks, then we will have our able president, Ms. Shara Ann Chisholm, leading the administrative team. And after that, we will take a few questions and answer from the attendants here. So over to you, Prof. Oh, before you go, Prof, I must tell Mr. Facey, I'm so happy you mentioned softball because that was my sport when I was at Meadowbrook. I would love to see us getting back there, sir. So I implore you, do all that you can to get the sports team up and running, especially softball, sir. Thanks. Over to you, Prof. Had to plug that one in.
Thank you very much. Chair, Ms. Debbie Meek, Mr. Kevin Facey, Principal of Meadowbrook High School, Ms. Sharo Ann Chisholm, President of the Jamaica Chapter of the Past Student Association, Mrs. Shelley Ann Ray Banks, one of our very valuable members of staff presently at Meadowbrook, members of our overseas chapter, members of the Jamaica Chapter, fellow Meadowbrookians, good afternoon. First, let me thank President Chisholm for inviting me to address you at this inaugural town hall meeting. This is quite an honor, as she had many other persons who she could have approached to give their experiences at Meadowbrook High School and the impact that Meadowbrook had on their lives. I'm sure that many of us, if not all of us, could cite experiences that occurred during their tenure at Meadowbrook and that has helped to influence and to shape their journey thus far. I attended Meadowbrook High School 5 decades ago, and I can still remember vividly my first day as if it was just yesterday. So it is either that I have an excellent memory or the impact of that first day was so long lasting, and I would dare to say that it is the latter. At the time I attended Meadowbrook, it was only 13 years old, and it was a small, upcoming school with less than 500 students making up the students' population. Due to its small size, we quickly became friends with persons in our year group. At that time, we only had 2 streams per class. We also over time became friends with persons in the other classes, including even students in the upper school, something I gather does not occur very commonly today. Many of us who attended Meadowbrook resided in the Meadowbrook, Havendale, and the surrounding communities. So even if we were not friends, they were certainly familiar faces. The environment within the school was more like that of a family atmosphere, with an older brother, older sister relationship where they mentored us, looked out for us as the younger ones, as we were now joining this Meadowbrook family. This gave us a sense of security and a feeling that people cared about us. You got the same sense of caring from our teachers, and this helped to build a strong sense of confidence when you stepped out in the wider world. We were not very strong at sports at that time, but our defeats taught us perseverance and never to give up and to always keep trying. The friends that I met during my high school years have become my closest friends for life. The bonds that we created during those early adolescent years have been some of the strongest. Despite the fact that many of my classmates have migrated and now live in North America and Europe, up to this day, we still remain friends. Sometimes we do not communicate for long periods, but once we reconnect, it was as if we're just picking up from where we left off. I must admit, recently, WhatsApp has been our great friend because it has made our communication in recent times much easier. I have made other friends in my working life, but none have been as strong friendships as my high school connections. My involvement in extracurricular activity, which were many, helped to build my ability to work in teams, to be mindful of my fellow students' needs, and to look out and care for each other. It is amazing how many more things you learn while on a playing field, outside the classroom, learning how to survive compared to what you learn in a classroom. But it was not only about our peers and the numerous experiences that we shared. Our teachers played an instrumental role in guiding and molding us into who we are today. Although I was impacted by many of my teachers, I would like to publicly acknowledge two who made a tremendous impact on me and have helped to guide me and mentor me into my adult life. The first is Miss Werner Johnson, now deceased, who was my form teacher for that first year at Meadowbrook High School and who greeted us on that first memorable day of my high school career. And secondly, Professor Elsa Leorini, who taught me at Meadowbrook. She went on to lecture at the University of the West Indies, where I became a student, and she became the first female principal of the Mona campus. These women moved from being my teachers who instilled important values, confidence, and self-worth in me to becoming my friend, confidant, and my mentor. To them, I will be eternally grateful. Meadowbrook, although a relatively young school, has done very well in the students who they have graduated. In 1985 and again in 1989, Meadowbrook boasts 2 Rhodes Scholars in Cavell Cratney and Andrea Wright. It was reported in a study done years ago, which looked at the entrance level of our students into the school, then looking at the level at the end of their education at Meadowbrook and where they were positioned today in their employment. It was found that Meadowbrook ranked #1 in this regard. We as a school have so much to be proud of. As a past student, we must consider how we can give back to our school. This may be in many ways besides simply monetary contribution. One of the greatest ways we can contribute is to mentor the present students who attend the school. We can help them to achieve their goals. We can introduce them to new ideas and new ways of thinking and encourage critical thinking. We can expose them to career scenarios that they may not have ever been exposed to. Recently, as has been mentioned previously, the past students organized a career day for the students at the school. And they had a large number of past students who gave up their time to expose the present students to a wide variety of careers that they could consider. Careers that many of them I know would not have even known existed. But it gave us, the past students, an opportunity to interact, open their eyes, and expose them to new worlds. A mentorship program started at Meadowbrook a few years ago, but we still need persons to participate and to continue to develop this program. My years at Meadowbrook have been invaluable. And although it is difficult on occasions to take part in activities planned by the past students during the school day because of my other commitments, I do try to participate whenever possible to contribute to the Past Students Association. I bid you, as past students, to consider getting involved, contributing to the school in whatever small way that you can. And as our school motto states, ita splendia tus vestra, let your light so shine. Thank you very much. Over to you, Debbie.
Sorry, thank you very much, Prof. Well said, well said. Prof, 50 years ago? Oh my goodness. There was no other person we could have found who be better qualified to speak to us this afternoon. We thank you so very much. And I do really hope that the message will get out there to all of them, near and far, that Meadowbrook has offered a lot to this country and still has a lot to offer. So we need the input of everyone. Thank you again, Prof. Shara, over to you now.
I just want to say everything Minerva said is true. I mean, just helping any way you can, doesn't have to be monetary, but give back to your school. Very, very well said. Okay, so my presentation will focus on the administrative side of the Past Tense Association. I'm just going to share my screen. And just to say, I'm happy to be here with you all today. Is everyone seeing my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Meadowbrook is so near and dear to me, so I just thought it best to take this approach. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Just to run over some of the key accomplishments of the previous year at a high level, we were able to donate 6 major scholarships. This is just the major scholarships that we've been able to donate with collaboration with our overseas New York and Canadian chapters. The value is somewhere near around 400,000, and we want to do more than that in the coming years with hopefully more participation from our past students here on this call. Entity classification. One of the things that we want to do, need to do, is to become a charity, because that's what we are. As it is now, we're currently registered as a company on the company's office website, and steps have been taken to remove ourselves. An application has been made, taking advantage of the amnesty to have ourselves removed, and then we're on our way to becoming a charity, which has so many benefits for us. But again, in the interest of time, I won't go over them. But just to say, it's so important to be as you are from a legal standpoint in terms of how we benefit from this kind of classification. The formalization of our banking account. So we've started that process as well with the handing over from our previous executive to our new executive. And hopefully soon we can have our USA accounts open. The process has started, not yet complete. The digital transformation of the PSA. One of the things I love about this group is that we really took things to another level. When COVID hit, there was no question about how we were going to help the students. It was, we need to help the students get it done. So we've been able to interact with them via Zoom. We've been able to do a lot more digital PR, our lovely PR team, and we've been able to change the way that we interact with our past students generally. And we've seen some great improvement in that regard, in how we manage ourselves, our meetings, etc. So I'm very proud of the team to convert so quickly when the pandemic hit, as we all had to do. Our COVID-19 response as a PSA. Well, when COVID-19 hit, so many students came to us, needing help. And so we did all that we could in partnership with other past students to make certain donations to the school. We have tried our best to bring about some awareness, about COVID-19 every time we have a touch point with the students, devotion, or any speaking opportunity to remind them how important it is to be safe. I think our awareness as a PSA has improved. I guess our PR team can share with you those statistics. We've improved in our diaspora relations. One of the things that we've had a challenge with is how we communicate with our overseas chapters. And now we have someone who is dedicated just to doing that. And because of the improved relations, we're getting a lot of support, financially and otherwise, and advice, especially from our overseas counterparts. Teamwork. Well, as you can see today, we have this town hall and everybody from the team is here. This could not have been done without them. Any of the accomplishments that you see here, it's definitely the work of the executive. And I just want to say congratulations to them all for working very hard during such a challenging time and keeping up their commitment to the PSA. Okay, areas for improvement. We want to improve the amount of banking facilities that we use. I think currently right now we have Scotia and JN. We want to definitely have more accounts open in the future for people to donate. Or membership and recruitment, that's lacking. So we need to work on that. We don't have a membership chair right now, but if anybody on this call wants to volunteer, you may do so. We wanted more chances to speak to the students in terms of impressing upon them as Dr. Thiem has done, and Mr. Facey and Mrs. Ebanks, the achievements of some of our past students. I don't think there's enough awareness about it. We try, but I think we could do more. And our presence, of course, because the students are not there, we haven't been able to meet them as frequently as we'd like to. The mentorship team has been doing great, but we hope for a day where we can all gather and speak to the students face to face. But overall, I think from a high level perspective, those are the things that we've been working on and the things that we need improvement on. Right? And overall, I'll say, we're looking. So that's the end of my presentation. Debbie, over to you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. And we will take a few questions now. So
Yes,
we
sure.
ask you to use the raise hand feature. The raise hand feature is enabled, Kimberly, for them to use the raise hand feature for you to.
Yes, David, they're
Oh,
able to
see,
use the raise hand feature. So you can go ahead
right.
and raise your hand.
Raise your hands, anyone who has a question, or if you want to put it in the chat. If you are shy to talk and you want to put it in the chat is being monitored. So we will see the questions and we will see how best we can answer them. Questions for either Mr. Facey or Prof or Shara or Miss Eubanks. Then go ahead.
All right, so the first person we have is Vivian Scott.
Go ahead, Vivian.
Hi, good evening all. Thanks for the presentation by the president, Sharo Ann. Is that how you pronounce it? Sharo Ann?
Yes, you got
okay.
it right.
Okay. All right. Because one of the things that I had wanted to find out was the matter of getting cash donations to the association. A group of us girls from class of 77, we had reached out and made contact with Philip because we had wanted to do something and to do a donation. But the majority of us girls of our group are actually overseas, and the challenge was how to get funds to the association. I heard you make mention of setting up a US bank account. What's the timeline for that? Because we were thinking of getting funds together so that we could do a donation of maybe a laptop or two for a deserving student for the new academic year. So we'd want to have everything, funds collected and handed over by about the beginning of August so that we could have it ready for September.
Certainly.
So,
we would definitely be in a position to accept funds by then. There's just a few documentation or that is outstanding to complete the process, but I would say we're 80% there. And I know about that donation because Nigel told me yesterday, and I'm just so excited and I'm grateful for your donation. And we're happy to have that discussion off air about, how the donations can go, but we'll definitely be in a position to accept it by the time you are ready to donate.
okay, wonderful. So we'll be in touch.
Yes,
okay.
definitely.
All righty. Thanks much.
Okay.
Okay, Sharo.
Yes, Javon. You have a question for me?
Yes, Samuel Neal is asking, what are the current needs of the PSA?
Okay, more than anything else, we need bodies, right? And I mean, Thiem said it's not a situation where we're asking for financial, that's always great. But if you could spare some of your time to mentor a student or to assist with planning on the activities of the PSA or offer your services, whatever industry you're in, that's the kind of support that I find that we need the most. We tend to call on the same people, but we kind of want to diversify the ask and spread it amongst our wider base. So if you could, contribute some of your time, even just for one event, that means a lot to us. Trust me, it really does. Okay, Samuel says he's interested. Samuel, I know you very well, so you're not going to escape my attention. We'll chat off air.
Yes, and Shara, I would like to say here, just to reinforce, to reiterate that we want everyone on this platform who is not a member of the executive body to just put your name and the year you left Meadowbrook and your current profession or trade that you're, because we need everyone on board. When it's project time, we need the person, we need everybody, okay?
I see someone asked, they want to see a list of events. Right, I don't know if that will probably come later on. I don't have that with me. The events and fundraising team maybe could discuss that some more.
Shara, let me just state that.
Sure.
And, Carol may jump in if needs be. Because of the current situation that we're in terms of COVID-19, there is a lot that we have planned, but we can't publicize it until we are sure exactly what's happening on a national level, right? I'd say ensure you're a part of the WhatsApp group, because that's sort of where everything is sent out in terms of notices, even before it gets onto the social media pages. All right, so in terms of our mentorship activities, in terms of our upcoming tree planting activities, if there's anything online, we usually send out the information through the WhatsApp group, and then we post it onto our social media pages. We can't have a listing in terms of an events calendar because of the situation that we're faced with currently. So I hope that answers your question, Kevin.
Thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Kimberly. Yes, you covered everything, and I like to hear questions like this because it gives us, it encourages us, you know, from the fundraising perspective to try harder, because we have a very big role in all of this, and we love to know that persons want to support. So I am actually excited by that one question, and hope other persons will feel, you know, encouraged to want to support us and be a part of, you know, our events and so on. So thanks.
Thank you, everyone. I see Andrea Bird has her hand up. Question from you, Andrea.
Hi, this is Andrea Kingbird, class of 1975. I just want to congratulate the current Past Students Association for doing an incredible job. It has been a little bit easier to, you know, watch things that happen online. The Meadowbrook sympathy page seems to be the most visible one. So if it is possible that we, you know, get a little bit more visibility that way, that would be absolutely incredible. And I'm also happy to see quite a number of persons online today who were actually at Meadowbrook at the time that I attended. So that is great. Just wanted to share that on Thursday of this week, there will be a donation of a tablet to a deserving student, because we know how, you know, it's a challenge right now for persons to be interacting virtually. So just want to know that everybody in their small corner can do something to make life a little bit easier, all right? So I just wanted to bring that to your attention today, all right? God bless you. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. And I'm sure whichever student gets that tablet will be really, really overjoyed, because we know the challenges right now. Vivian Scott, your hand is still up. You just lower your hand for me, please. Javon, do you have any more questions for us from in the chat?
Not at this moment.
No?
I'm seeing a hand raised.
Okay.
The hand of Andrea Bird is raised. I'm not sure she spoke already.
Yeah, she just did.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I want to say something. Hello?
We are hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my name is Jennifer Peters, past student of Meadowbrook High School, and just wanted to find out, we've been speaking about the different sports that we're going to be having. And last year, I actually came home for a holiday and I went to the bottom field. And what exactly are we going to be doing about the bottom field, or are we going to get involved to make sure that it comes back to, how should I say, somewhere that the kids can actually have their sports there and making good use of the bottom field?
Okay, I can take that question. So I know that especially if you came last year, you'd see the field in a certain state. Part of it is because the kids have not been attending school and there's some construction going on the hillside adjacent to the field. The PSA has made a proposal, or shall make a proposal about bottom field management. I believe that may be addressed on this call as well later down in the presentations. But yes, there are plans to put it in a position to be suitable for the students' usage. But as it is now, the field is not currently being used, to my knowledge. And you are right, there are some issues with it now, and that definitely is remedy to revamp our sports program. Any other questions? Debbie lost connectivity, so I'll manage for her while she's away.
Okay,
yes,
can I ask?
sir, there is Samuel Neal, who is...
Samuel, you had a question?
Yes, but I think the previous person had an additional comment, so I don't know.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Peters.
Yeah, okay, just the other question was, you spoke about the different, let me see now, job opportunities that the kids you're going to be introducing to the school itself, not only academics. Can you tell us a few of the different careers that you probably would like to introduce to the students?
So I would say we're open to any career once it's something that, you know, will be beneficial. Anything positive is good. There's no specific career type. It's just that I think Mrs. Evans was talking about the diversity of careers that appeared at this career day, maybe in comparison to the previous ones. So if you would like to speak at career day, we have no problem. The more the merrier. So that's the answer to your question. There's no specific career.
Okay.
Samuel, you can go ahead. Oh, Debbie's back. But Samuel, yeah. Yes. And then Debbie, you can take over after Samuel speaks.
Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, Samuel, over to you.
Yeah, someone previously asked a question about the list of events so that we can keep a track of and participate as our schedule and our lives allow. But I wanted to know if there is like a current list for that, for the first few events upcoming within the next few weeks or months until we get that full list for the remainder of the year.
So that summer should come down later on in the presentation. The events and fundraising team will speak soon. So I guess they will address that when the time comes. So I'm saying I don't have the answer. I know Carol and DeAndre has something planned. It's not top secret, but they would be able to give you a better idea as to the timelines, right? I know they have to for today. So when the time comes, I guess Carol will address that, right, Carol?
Yes, Cheryl. DeAndre has something that he will present. So when our time comes, DeAndre will speak on that for sure.
Okay. Any other questions? I think we need to move on as well to the next presentation.
Oswald, I see Oswald has his hand up. Over to you, Oswald, quickly, please.
Kevin has a question, but somebody else had a hand up.
Oswald Barrett.
Oh, go ahead, Oswald.
Oswald, are you hearing us? All right, not hearing him. So we'll move on. Are you seeing any other question? If not, we'll move on. When I was out, did Philip speak? I don't know, I was out for a short while.
No, but Kevin asked about school branded shirts and other things. Carol, can you respond to him directly on that? please, in the chat, but we need to move on to the next presentation.
I didn't see that. Repeat that, Cheryl.
He's asking about school brand shirts and school branded products. Visibility is important in the different spaces. So I think you could message him about that privately in the chat, please.
I will. I'll take the information, and it's something that
Right.
we're working on doing to include T-shirts and other memorabilia. So that is it. That is part of our plan going forward. And we'll also, you know, let everybody know when we have come to a decision how we're going to approach it and all of that.
Okay. So we're down now to PR and fundraising. So DeAndre.
That's actually me.
Oh, Kimberly.
Yes, so let me just share my 1 second. I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right, so this evening's presentation is just to give a synopsis of what the Publications Committee has been doing. All right, so based on when our elections are held, it is pretty much in the fourth quarter. So the presentation will start with information from the fourth quarter, then we move to quarter one and quarter two, which we are currently in. And that's financial quarters. All right, so I'm the Public Relations Officer for the Meadowbrook High School Past Students Association, and this is pretty much what we've been up to. So in quarter four, which would have been when the new executive was elected, we had our Meet Your Executive social media feature, which we profiled all of the members of the executive so that the wider school community could see its local representatives sort of know, what their backgrounds are, what they're currently doing in their professional lives. In that same quarter, just to sort of strum up some, attention around the PSA. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to make someone the host because I think Javon dropped out. So I'm trying to admit people at the same time. Javon, are you back on?
Put that over to Cheryl, please.
All right. Right, so in order to drum up some attention around the PSA, we also had a hashtag Fun Memories Sunday, where we sort of just asked question and answers and polls around our most memorable moments while at Meadowbrook. Funny enough, we got a lot of hits, we got a lot of engagement, people actually answering the questions. But what was interesting is that though there was an interest in terms of people sharing their most memorable moments, people expressing interest in various committees, we didn't actually see that actualize in terms of the numbers for whenever events came out, or if we reached out to some of these people, it was sort of a, kind of on and off response. So I guess we'll have to sort of work in terms of membership engagement and retention as well. Now, in the fourth quarter, we also had a Jamaica Observer newspaper feature in October on our back to school outreach that we did for a needy student who could not afford some of his books. I think it was 2 students that we actually helped out in that regard. We also did the New York chapter anniversary video where we basically did a shout out to them, and we published that online in our IGTV section. Also in November of 2020, we had another feature in the Observer. The 6 scholarships. Can somebody mute the person who is talking? Can you please mute your mic? Right, so in November, we had another feature in the Observer on the 6 scholarships given by the Past Students Association to students at Meadowbrook. We also had a number of devotion talks, and promotional sections at the school during devotion to speak about the work that the Past Students Association has been doing. We also collaborated with the school on a Christmas food drive for needy students, which was well received. We had pictures on our social media platforms. However, we took the care and diligence not to publish the faces of those who had received the help because of the vulnerability and the sensitive nature of the situation. Moving into January, or rather February, we had our Hearts of Meadowbrook event, and I think our fundraising and events committee will speak more on that. However, from the PR side, we had a number of scheduled posts about the event. We also, and the posts were basically about the cost, the MC, the artists, so they're giving shout out, building up attention around the event to get the support. We also had an article published again in our newspaper on the event. We had an interview with Love FM about that should be event and not interview. I think coming down into March, we had a tablet donation, and we highlighted that donation. It was by Gavin Rankin, a past student. We also had some more devotional talks. We also promoted the Digicel Bip to Win competition. I think Mr. Face is still on. The top prize was $1 million. So we used our social media platforms to promote that, to try and get people to help us to win. We were leading at one point, but I believe we did not win that competition. So again, it's, people are engaging, people are liking the post, but are they actually doing what we're trying to get them to do? Now, we're in quarter 2, and for this quarter, we have had our MeadowFit activity. We had that in April, and it was streamed on our YouTube page. That was basically a collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Education, just to get people moving for about 15 minutes. So the school, representatives from the school, from the Past Students Association, all came together, had their exercise session. We streamed it live. Hopefully some of you who watched actually got up and moved. Moving right along, we also had another feature in our newspapers, this time on 33 scholarships that were given by our Canadian and New York chapters to our students. And right now we're having our town hall, which was also promoted and publicized. Now, some of our future plans include utilizing our social media pages more, with more unique content to keep our audience interested and keep them engaged. We also have plans, or it's been worked on. We have reached out to influencers, and by influencers, I mean, those popular faces on social media who are past students. There's one person in particular, Jason Brown. He has a channel on YouTube called Life Lessons with Jason. So he has agreed to host us one night to sort of see if his followers and our followers sort of can come together to see what exactly is happening. And we'll talk about something that's, I guess, interesting to the wider population. Judine, can you mute your mic? Also, we want to harness some more corporate partnerships. So I know, I think Mrs. Ibanks, if you're on, we have an event coming up with the forestry department. That's a tree planting event, and we hope to get some public relations out of that for the school, for the PSA as well. Have more media appearances. Majority of our appearances have been in the Observer. Those of you who know me would know why that is. We are trying to extend it to capture more media houses and get a wider cross-section of audiences. Also, I believe we have a website that is being underutilized. The president can speak more to that. Also, from the PR side, our plan is to have a newsletter which we will email to participants, and that's another reason that it's important that you sort out, your membership situation. You can reach out to me through the social media sites, or you can reach out to the president. Have your membership in order, pay your dues, get onto our email listing. And so when we launch the newsletter, you'll be able to see what's happening in that. And we also want to take advantage or make more use of email marketing, not to spam you or to, overwhelm your inboxes, but to have something that can be easily tracked, or it's better in terms of, I guess, file keeping or record keeping, rather, to say, what went out, how many people it went out, or these are the exact persons who we are sure of would have seen it unless you've changed your email address. So that's it. And if there are any questions, you can feel free to ask me now. And to the left of my presentation is our handles on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Meadowbrook High PSA, and on Twitter, it's at Meadowbrook PSA. And on YouTube, our channel is called Meadowbrook PSA JA.
Thank you very much, Kimberly. Are there any questions for Kimberly? And just to add that the email address has been posted in the chat. So if anyone wishes to connect to us via email, you may do so. Are there any questions?
There's a question in the chat from Oswald Barrett. He's asking how much are the trees?
Hi, Oswald. So thank you for that question. So I believe the trees, Mrs. Ibangsa, you on, or Mr. Face, you can add on, but majority of that donation is free. I'm not sure where the costing will come in, if there is any costing at all.
Well, Kimberly, if you don't mind me interjecting from what Mrs. Ibanks has shared with me, it's really a two-part process. Part one is the donation of the trees, but also the forestry department has a drive where we could get trees at discounted rates for members of our staff and members of our community, but we would have to make the order in advance. And I believe it's not just decorative trees, but I think they may have some fruit trees, but I don't have a listing of their inventory at this time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Facey. May I just add that from my knowledge and working with the forestry department, usually we get trees free of cost for the most part, the ornamentals for the most part. I'm not so sure about the fruit trees, but I know the ornamentals are usually free. And those are what they tend to give to schools most often. Mr. Banks, you want to come in here?
Just, I think one of the costs is maybe for some of the fruit trees, I think it's between $350 and $500 for the fruit ones that they actually sell. But we have a member of the Meadowbrook family that works there, so she will be more than happy to arrange something special for us.
There you go. Thank you. All right. So that's with PR, fundraising, and event planning. Carol, over to you.
Yes, hi. DeAndre can speak after. Yes, good evening. I'm very happy to get this opportunity to just say a few things on the fundraising committee. We consist of a group of people who I believe is one of the best teams we have put together in a long time in terms of fundraising. The majority of them are young persons, full of ideas, thinking outside the box. And unfortunately, COVID, as they say, messed up our plans, really. But we have to work with what is happening and make the best of it. We had the Heart of Meadowbrook concert in February, which was our pre-Valentine's Day concert. And that concert was really, it was strategized deliberately because we were celebrating the month of, Valentine's Day and so on. And I thought it was a good idea, and my team included, that we would touch the source and the heart of what Meadowbrook means to all of us. And it was a good way to showcase what the Heart of Meadowbrook is. And that tagline was the Heart of Meadowbrook being the students, the parents, the teachers, and the past students. And we believe that we put together an exciting group of past students, talented group of past students who I didn't even know some of them were so talented and didn't know some of them. And I was encouraged really when I saw what Meadowbrook had to offer in terms of talent. When we called them with the help of DeAndre and the other persons on the team, they were enthusiastic, they were heart in, they were ready to go, and they gave their best. Unfortunately, we didn't get the support that we really wanted to get. And the concert went off, I think, very well. And some of the opinions I've heard since then have been very encouraging. Lots of persons said they enjoy it. And because we didn't get the support, you know, we felt that maybe the effort did not go off as we had planned. But then after thinking about it, I think it did, because what we were able to do was to highlight a side of Meadowbrook that a lot of people didn't know about. And a lot of these artists who participated on the show are willing to, when asked again, to come back to Meadowbrook and to perform for another show. So the positive coming out of that show, even though we didn't make the kind of money that we would have wanted to make, is that this can become an annual event, the Heart of Meadowbrook Showcase, because every year, more and more talented students are turning up, showing up, graduating, going on to make careers out there. And if we can harness this, I think we have, for years to come, so much talent to showcase, and we can use this as a way to be a part of our fundraising. I just want to say, though, that from a fundraising perspective, it's a difficult job. It's one thing, you know, putting on events and so on and so forth, but it costs us to do that. And we don't have the resources most times to put on these events. And we try to do the best that we can, but without the support of the wider Meadowbrook community, it's not possible to do these events and to put them on, and to, you know, persons would want to see we do this and to do that. And everybody has different opinions as to what they would like to happen. But everything that we do takes money. It takes money to make money. And when we put out the tickets and we put out the flyers and the response is not, you know, not positive, or it's not encouraging, it makes us feel let down. But then we know that at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we still rise above all the challenges, and we do it because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we can do the things that we want to do. We can give those scholarships. We can help those students who need help. And I tell you something, the help is great. There are so many students who need our help. But without your support, without you all supporting the events that we put on, we're not able to do that. So all I'm going to say, because I'm going to put on DeAndre and he has some stuff to tell you, is that when we plan these events, we plan it with heart. We plan it with the hope that the outcome will be positive and that we'll be able to do, if not all, most of the things that we want to do to help the students at Meadowbrook High School. So again, I appeal to you all, pay attention when we put things out, give your feedback, give your views, make suggestions, support, not just financially, but any which way you can. We need it wholeheartedly. And for those of you who always, no matter what, support us, we are thankful, we are grateful, and I'm hoping 2022, COVID will give us a break and we have a lot of things planned for 2022, all being well, and cross our fingers and hope that we'll be able to once again have some big events so we can all come together and celebrate life and Meadowbrook. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Over to you, Andre.
All right. Good evening.
And then we'll take the questions.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just gonna share a little PowerPoint with you. It's not a lot, but let's just share. All right, so are we seeing the screen? Can you confirm for me, Debbie?
Yes, DeAndre, right ahead.
All right, let's begin. So, all right, so let's go into this thing now. So the fundraising committee, this is from 2020, which we would have been appointed into 2021. We're not yet finished for the year, and that's just the cover page, right? So let's get into this. You would have
You're
heard.
a bit low, DeAndre.
Am I better now?
Your mic is low.
Are you hearing me clearly now?
Yes, yes, good.
All right. So you would have heard Carol made mention to the showcase, which would have been the Heart of Meadowbrook pre-Valentine's Day showcase. I don't know how many of you were on the stream, but it was definitely
Better.
beneficial to us in terms of PR and in terms of displaying some of the talents that we had. And it reflected really well on our past students who are now out there, as Carl would have said earlier. All right. So I just want to share with you some highlights for those of you who haven't been tuning into our platforms. So if you will see some of our presenters, all of these presenters were past students, by the way, and you will see our hosts, Michael and Celia there up here. This is Celia, this is Michael, and the presenters. So now the question is really left to be asked after this, how were the views for the entire show? And I think it was really good because we had, at the end of the show, we had, what was it, 96 subscribers to our YouTube channel. We had 1,258 views in total, 68 likes, and of course 3 dislikes, because you can't do anything on YouTube without a dislike. But this is really good for what was our first virtual event. And I think this is a sure sign of what is to come. So now, of course, what's to come, right? So in coming up with this plan, there were a little ifs, a little buts because of the entire situation with the pandemic, and we were really in a box as to really what we could do. But as Carl would have said, the team is really, they really came up with this, and we thought what we could do. So a group of us came together and we came up with what we call Virtual Homecoming 2021, right? So far we have 3 events lined up for the week. It's going to be July 25th running through to the 31st. And we're beginning Sunday with what we call is the church service. Now this church service is going to be broadcast via Zoom on the 25th from the Meadowbrook High School United Church of the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. And you can tune in, you can watch the service, you can sing along from home, praise at home, just get into that real church vibe. And it's a great way to kick off our homecoming week. Then we're going to be going on to Wednesday. Now, on Wednesday, we will have what is called our games night. Now, the games night is going to be virtual, as I said. So, what we've done is that we thought of a way how we could have games night, and we're going to be launching a whole heap of different Zoom links in terms of each game. So, what you would do is you would sign into the link that you want. So, you will see a graphic come up, and it will have the different games on there. You sign in, the game would have a moderator, and the game lasts for like 5 to 10 minutes. After those 5 to 10 minutes, there'll be a clear winner, and then you can decide whether you want to go and play in another game, whether you want to go and try something else. And I think it's a great, great family event that you can do from home. So there is something that we call our home treasure hunt, which is where there's a list of items. It will be shared, and then the moderator will ask, can you find me a spoon? So you run to your kitchen, you try to find the spoon, and you come back, you get a point. At the end of the game, the winner will be announced, and you can just have fun with your family. Now, our Saturday night party, that's a virtual party. what we've done with this event is that we decided that we wanted to be more of an integration event where we take younger PSA members and introduce them to the PSA along with our more older version of our older rather members. And it's a great way of interacting. The chats will be open on our Zoom platform, and we will have two past students who will be playing music. So you can come on, have fun, dance, just go crazy for the night and just enjoy homecoming from home. So at this time, I would open the floor for any questions in regards to the PR and fundraising.
DeAndre,
What year did
let
you
me just,
graduate? What year did you graduate? Can you please let everybody know?
I graduated in 2019.
he's a
Okay, so
young one.
everybody can contribute. That's my point.
Can I just add, and the homecoming, usually, you know, the events that we have, there's always a cost, but of course there's no cost associated with what we're planning here. You know, everything is virtual, but we are going to encourage persons who may want to donate towards a student, towards a scholarship, towards anything at school. Feel free to do so, to use the opportunity to do so. And remember, with your donations, with your, you know, your kind, very kind and generous donations, that's how we do what we do. So if you want to take the opportunity of the games evening, the party night, to, you know, offer up a donation, cash or kind, we are open to it. I will be very, very grateful.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, DeAndre. Earlier, I saw Neville Foster with his hand up. Does he still have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I'm saying hi to everyone too. Long time I haven't seen a lot of you.
All right, Oswald,
Blessings to
your
everyone.
hand is up.
Hi, everybody. I'll call you my brothers and sisters, but I just wanted to say that I've been listening in for the last hour, and I am so impressed with you guys in Jamaica, what you're doing. It's amazing. I think Reverend Saunders would be so proud of you guys, of what you guys are doing. You know, for our association to survive or to continue, I strongly believe in this saying that each one bring one. So with these promotions that you guys are doing, I'm just asking that everyone on board right now, you know, tell someone about what's going on in the association, get involved, you know, and we can have a very successful association. And, you know, good luck to you guys. And I'm very impressed. And that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Hey,
very
Ozzy,
much,
thank
Oswald.
you.
Any question, Kimberly? Anyone has his hand up? His or her hand up? If not, we will ask
There are no
our
questions in the chat.
question in the chat, Javon.
No, I'm saying there are none.
Okay, all right. So we'll ask our financial team, our treasurer and our assistant treasurer to
I'm
give us
sorry,
an
Debbie.
overview.
Debbie, I just
Yes?
want to address somebody in the chat.
Okay, Kimberly.
Right, the person who is ZTE Blade, you're saying you're 64. You made a comment to say Patrick is not the only past student at the Gleaner. You know, I'm at the Observer, I'm a senior reporter there, and there are a number of other persons who we have reached out to. In my presentation, I mentioned that we have done a number of media interviews. In the papers, we have done a number of radio interviews. We had a Smile Jamaica interview set up, it fell through, and we have been milking our social media platforms. You know, as Oswald said, when these things come out into the paper, it's, you know, we post it online and we share the links. There's so much we can do and no more. We cannot walk to everybody's house and deliver the paper. And I don't mean to sound facetious, but really, it's about other people sort of pushing or carrying the weight as well, right? When the PR team does what they have to do, and believe you me, we have really pushed to get a number of these media interviews. I utilize my leverage where I can at the Observer. I've called Nadine from the Gleaner and a number of other persons from the Gleaner who I know are past students, and they've helped us out. People at Love FM, people at TVG, right? So to say that we are not pushing or we are not carrying out the message a lot, that's a very unfair statement because the evidence is there. All right, so that's all I have to say.
Okay.
We do have a question, Debbie. It's by Smith Perry. I'm seeing here, Ardis, if I'm pronouncing it right. So the person was asking if there are links for donation at these events. Of course, there will be links. In fact, you will have online links, and you can also use the account number. Shara, could you put that in the chat again? So there will be more information coming out as we're getting closer to the homecoming, and we're also open to ideas for other virtual events that you think might be best suited for our virtual homecoming.
Thank you, DeAndre. And once again, I'm going to implore anyone who hasn't put his or her name in the chat, we're asking you so to do, because that's how we're going to grow the association. That's how we're going to be able to help the school and the students who need our help. All right, put your name, your number, your email address, and your occupation. Thank you. So now I'll turn over to Mark or Nigel to do a quick overview of our financial situation.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. This is Nigel. And DeAndre, I had asked you to share a screen. You can put it up now for me, please. And while he does that, sorry. For the past year, we have not really done much in terms of different activities and a host of fundraising items. However, I must say that the fundraising team came up with the idea to sell masks in order to raise funds, and I have to say it was quite successful. DeAndre, you putting up that thing for me?
Yes, it's there, Nigel. You're
Not
seeing the
seeing
screen?
it, DeAndre. Not
Black
seeing it.
DeAndre.
Yeah, it's supposed to be blue. It's just blue. We're not skip. We haven't started skipping through. Just
Okay, okay.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no. All I want is the actual first page that shows the fundraising events, income and expenditure. Yeah.
Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Yes,
This
we
one
are.
here.
Okay.
All right. So what the fundraising team came up with Carol et al. They decided to sell masks because of the need for them. And you will notice that we spend some money to get these masks. So we end up spending 276, 280. And we ended up making a net profit of 308,000, which is quite well, right? We did well there. So that initiative, I have to say, was a success. But of course, now we have other things coming up, which is the heart of Meadowbrook, as Carol had mentioned. It wasn't well supported, but persons did support, and we spent on this initiative close to 300,000, as you can see here, and we made back just 277. So a shortfall of 21,000, we call it 22,000, right? So a couple more tickets and we'd have broken even. But this is where it comes out that Carol is talking about, where if we had the support and with persons purchasing tickets and some of these persons who purchased tickets gave donations. So it is all in this, and we still had a shortfall. So we need the support, as you can say, as you can see. Now, apart from that, now there is we actually issued scholarships to students at the school, right? Which is approximately, it's not here, but I'm telling you, $220,000 worth of scholarships for the student and donations for various departments like Schools Challenge, and had a food drive, and we gave $70,000 to that. So this is what we do, and we need the funds to be coming in, and we need the support so we can continue doing these things. because the say scholarship thing, it's a very important aspect of our work now, because there are students there who need the help, because PATH can't do everything. And we as PATH students who have passed through the school and are in a better position, we can contribute and in turn give back to the school in terms of scholarship and even in support of the infrastructure there. Because I tell you, today is Labor Day, and the initiative was supposed to be fixing up the nurses' quarters, but of course, COVID took care of that. So we now have to decide how we are going to give towards improving that facility that we agreed that we would be looking at. So in terms of the financials, we made some money last year. We used back the money. Luckily, we had some excess there. So we are looking forward to the support from everyone and to see that we can show an even better turnover for our events next time. Okay, so that's just basically it, because I won't go into any great detail in this forum of what else, but this is the result of our fundraising, and this is how the money goes into scholarships and donations to the school for school challenge and that sort of thing. Right. So with that said, Mark, is there anything else you want to mention?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Are you hearing me clearly?
You're a bit low, Mark.
Mhm.
Mark, you're low.
Mark is the assistant treasurer.
Are you hearing me any better now?
Just
we are
a
hearing.
little,
Sorry about that. I hope you're hearing me clearer.
much better. Go ahead now.
All right. Evening again, Mark Finley, co-chair, class of '89, former Manning Cup captain, heavily involved in sports. So I'm very happy to hear Mr. Feisty mention bringing back sports, and I also share the same sentiments as Debbie. When I started Meadowbrook, softball was one of the key sports at Meadowbrook. So we're looking forward to that. In terms of the finances, as everyone has said before, we give not only cash and kind, but cash is a large part of what we do in terms of the support that we give to the school. There are several avenues that we use to get cash into our system to give to the school. One is through our dues, membership dues, which is $2,000 a year. I think at our last AGM, we only collected about 30,000. When I look at the number of invitees online, it is 91 persons online. So obviously there's quite a few persons who haven't contributed to their dues. So we're asking everyone who's on chat tonight, if you haven't done so, please, please just contribute, because this will go a long way with all we have to do. I also want to also put in my plug in terms of when we do have events. There's a lot of persons who say they're going to take part and say they're going to contribute, but at the end of the day, is the same persons. I want to move away from this where we have more persons contributing, and trust me, we all know a little goes a long way, right? In the past, we've been asking the same persons over and over, and they have always come to our help. But we want to spread this request out to the greater, or to the bigger, to the larger public, medical public. So we're imploring everyone here on this meeting, just not only to give of your time, but we do need that financial support, especially in this time of COVID, where we're limited to what we can do, right? The PR team and the fundraising team, I think they're doing a great job to find ways to engage everyone, to participate and to have fun while giving back to the school. So I just want to encourage you, to just to give. It's good that you are all here to participate and hear what we're doing. Now we just need to make that next step in terms of giving. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark and Nigel. So people, you have heard the story of our finances, the overview. Kimberly, some persons in the chat are saying they're waiting to come in. So please check for me. We're almost at the end.
I'm in. A bit late,
You're
but
letting
I'm in.
everybody. Okay, is that you, Michelle?
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, welcome, girl. We miss you, but welcome, welcome.
Hi, was working, just got off.
Hey, Mish, how are
Oh,
you
my
doing, girl?
goodness.
I'm great, Car. You
All right, so everyone, I must say, thanks to the 9 persons who are on this platform who have joined the WhatsApp group, and we're looking forward for the others who have not yet joined to join using the link. Thanks to all the persons who have joined us this afternoon, this evening for our first virtual town hall meeting. And if there are any more questions, we have a few minutes to take a few more questions before I hand over to our president, Ms. Sharon Chisholm, to do the wrap up. Any questions in the chat, or anybody has his or her hand up?
Chat is clear on my side.
Okay.
Yes, someone has their hand up.
And someone is asking if the masks are still available.
Let me respond to that. We do not stock the mask. It's based on you know, person's interest. So if there's interest, then we will order. So what we can do is continue the conversation on the Meadowbrook WhatsApp chat. If persons are interested, you can indicate there. And if you know, we feel that we have enough persons interested so we can do another order, then we will do that. But we don't have an inventory that we keep because we can't afford to do that. So it's based on need. So if persons want to get the Meadowbrook mask, let us know. We can, you can post it, you can contact any one of us, and then we'll put together and place another order for those who need masks.
Thank you, Carol. Maurice Thompson, your hand is up. Go right ahead.
Yes, good night. Maurice Thompson. Basically, I was representing the PTA of Meadowbrook. I was just asked to share something in this meeting. A fundraising event that we're doing for the school. That is actually the monitor. That is actually the electronic board. That is actually at the school. We are actually in the process of seeking persons in terms of advertising, both students, community persons, business place in the surroundings, where we are asking for donation in terms of persons to advertise. We have a 1 month, up to 3 months, a yearly subscription, or even if it's just a week or 2, yeah, as minimum as possible. And they're actually at a discounted rate for students also. I don't know that students might have something in terms of displaying, for example, like the Key Club at the school. So there is actually initiative for that also. So we're just asking for support in terms of advertising. A person know of anyone, they can either contact either the Mr. Facey, the principal, and he will contact actually the PTA body in terms of the way forward, in terms of how we go about doing it. So we're just asking for all of your support.
Thank you very much for that information.
Can I just, sorry, Debbie, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was talking over you, but I just wanted to add, because Ozzy just pointed it out. Oswald Barrett has some masks he lives in New York. He's in New York, New Jersey, between Jersey and New York. So persons in those areas, They know Ozzy contact is on the Meadowbrook chat. They can get in touch with Ozzy, and he has some Meadowbrook masks that he's selling for the persons in that area. And just contact Ozzy and he will be more than willing to get those masks to persons who are interested. And the principal also has a few. He just noted that too. So what I'll do is I'll post something tomorrow, and I'm hoping persons will follow up with this conversation, read the mask, and those who are interested, just indicate on the Meadowbrook chat, and based on the numbers and so on, we will work out how we can get another batch of masks and how we can get them to the persons who want to purchase. And thanks for the interest.
Thank you so very much, Carol. Thank you, Oswald and Mr. Facey.
I just want to say,
Now,
yeah, Debbie, can I just say something quickly?
sure,
Because I
Nigel.
mention I want to mention right here in this town hall meeting my deepest appreciation to Oswald Barrett, to his assistance to our local Students Association. Thank you very much, Oswald.
And I want to say too, a special thanks to Wayne Swaby from the Canada chapter. When I reached out to him about taking some masks and selling it, he didn't hesitate. He was ready. He was on board, and Ozzy also. So thanks for the Canada and the New York chapter. When we mentioned it, they didn't hesitate. They were on board, and they have been more than we can ever expect in terms of support. They support everything we do. Wayne is always there to purchase tickets more than most people would, and Ozzy and all of those people who support us. We need to big them up because they are the core of what it is that we do, and blessings to them.
Here, here.
Indeed, indeed. And we are just praying and hoping that others will follow, because the truth is, many of us are up in our middle in life, and we may not be around for very much longer to assist as how much we would like to. So we're encouraging the younger ones to come on board and just be a part of the team and be active. I want to say, my dear Meadowbrook brothers and sisters, it was indeed my pleasure to have hosted this function this evening. Just want to say before I hand over to Shara to give her final closing remarks, is that someone, a student, a current student, reached out to me in the chat and is asking that when we're looking into the career week presentation, that we look wide and far to include construction, because it seems as if there are many persons who still believe that construction is only for males. And I think this person is a female who apparently likes that. So I'm going to give her name over to Shara outside of this chat so we can reach out to her and see how we can guide her. She's just in grade 8 and she seemed to be interested in that area. And so it is good to have her on, and we know that the mentorship will start from here on so that we can assist her as she continues to go into Meadowbrook. So thanks everyone. These are my final words to you. I appreciate it. 65, I saw at one point, I think we're down now to 62, but it was a pleasure. It was a meeting with a difference, and certainly COVID has caused us to pivot. And so we are learning new ways of just dealing with COVID. And so I'll hand you over now to Shara, who will give the closing remarks. Shara.
Thank you all for joining today. The heart of what this Past Students Association is about, it's about assisting the current students at Meadowbrook. Everything we do is not for the benefit of ourselves, but to help others and to further develop the institution that we all loved and that we all went to. So when we ask for your support, we're not asking from a place of any personal gain. We're asking you to help the future of our school, for it to continue, for it to be successful, more successful than it is now. and just to remember how it is that you got to where you are now, right? A lot of it is we left the school, but we don't appreciate, what the school has done for us to allow us to reach to where we are. And as we progress in life, I don't want us to lose sight of that. That's why we're having this town hall. That's why we are a part of the Past Students Association. And in closing, I just want to say, we can't do anything without support. And when we speak about support, it's not necessarily financial support that we need. We just need volunteers. If it's just to pick up a pencil, to cut out a heart for our Heart of Meadowbrook concert, those tiny acts of service makes a difference. You are the difference that we need. Don't say, well, I'm this or I'm that, and that is why I can't join the Past Students Association. It's for everybody who went to Meadowbrook. No excuses now. When we call on you, we expect some form of support. You've seen the challenges, you've seen the financials. We laid it bare for you this evening. No bars, right? Completely transparent. And now that you've seen where we are, I'm not looking at where we are. I'm looking at where we could be. I'm looking in the future. We're in a situation, we're in a pandemic. We have transformed ourselves to become, more digital, to find different ways to connect with you. And someone said something super important on this call, that if you just carry one person with you to any of these events, it makes a difference. Liking a post, sharing a post makes a difference. So support Meadowbrook High School Past Students Association, support Meadowbrook High School. Don't do it for the glory or the hype, because there's no glory in this game. This is about our students and they need our help. The stories that we've heard, the interviews that we've done, the mentorship program, believe me, the needs are so great and they can't all be explored on this call, but you can make a difference. Thanks for coming.
All right, thanks everyone. I'm going to ask the members of the executive to stay back so that we can do just a few minutes of interaction. But thank you all. Have a good night and see you soon.